Hi guys, it's Alti, and in today's video we're going to be discussing a leaked image from Treyarch on this year's Call of Duty entry. So the first thing that I want to say about this is I'm not actually going to show the image. I'll leave a link in the description to the tweet that Treyarch sent out. Basically what it said was someone had tweeted out about how they thought that this year's Call of Duty, the next Call of Duty to come up, I'm going to call it Black Ops 4 just because that makes it easier to talk about. So they were talking about Black Ops 4 and how they thought it wasn't going to have perks in it. Treyarch ended up replying and they pretty much said that's not true. With the tweet, they attached an image, and that image shows 4 perks as well as 2 cards in the top right hand corner. It's kind of laid out like a create class menu would be. We're going to start off by talking about the perks themselves. I don't think this is the most important thing about the image, but it is still relevant, so I'm going to go over them and just kind of discuss what I think each perk is. The first one in the top left hand corner of the image is someone climbing a ladder, at least that's what it appears to be. It's got some hands on some bars, so I don't know, maybe they're on the monkey bars, but it appears to be a ladder. So at first I wasn't too sure about this. I've kind of tried to stay away from what's already out there talking about this subject because I want to kind of develop my own ideas and maybe give some new insight on it. What I believe this to be, I couldn't figure it out. First I looked through the Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 books, and I just wasn't liking it. It wasn't clicking. And then I read the description for dexterity, so that is climb ladders and metal over objects faster. That is the only thing in my mind this could be, unless it's a new perk. Our next perk on the right is, it shows someone holding a gun and they've got the magazine out. They appear to be reloading it. I believe, I'm almost certain that this is either fast hands or sleight of hand. Fast hands would be swap weapons faster and aim faster after sprinting, whereas sleight of hand is faster reloading. I would see it being something more like fast hands, where it's got multiple capabilities. Of course we had pro perks in Black Ops 1, we might see that return. I'm going to say fast hands on this one, but I think it should also be noted that the person in the image appears to be continuing aiming, so I think that this could actually be a new perk as well. Maybe something along the lines of reload while aiming down sights, and that doesn't seem like, I don't know why you'd want that, but it might be paired with something else like reload while sprinting or faster reloading. That's kind of what I'm feeling with that one. The one after that on the right, which shows it's kind of like a dog, I'm gonna say it's a hyena. This one almost certainly it's scavenger. That would make the most sense. Hyenas, scavengers. In the past we've seen vultures for the scavenger perk image. If this isn't scavenger, could also be stalker, though I'm going to say scavenger on this one. And then the final one on the bottom left is a boot. This one has to be lightweight, almost certain, because in Black Ops 2 they used almost the exact same image. Now I'm just going to look at the physical aspect of these images. First thing I see here is they definitely don't look modern. In Black Ops 3 we had this really polished, they were like CPU chips. Same in Black Ops 2, it was more 2D, it wasn't kind of that advanced, but it was very clean, very sharp. And these definitely don't. They've got a grimy aesthetic to them, they've got some staining on them, and you can tell they're patches. They seem to be something that a soldier would wear. I'm feeling that kind of pays homage to more of like a Vietnam, maybe even Cold War vibe, something more along the Black Ops 1 lines. The one on the left, which is, we're going to say it's dexterity, the guys got gloves on. They don't look too modern. They could be, but he's climbing a ladder and it doesn't look too modern to me. The one to the right of that, this one I think is maybe the most interesting. The guy's got his sleeves rolled up and he's just got his bare hands there. Doesn't look too professional, you know, he looks maybe more like kind of in a rebel or a guerrilla task force. Gave me more of a Black Ops 1 historic vibe than it did a futuristic Black Ops 3 vibe. The final one there is the boots. They don't look that futuristic, it doesn't look like they have boost jump or anything crazy, just look like kind of some standard combat boots. The clothing, it does seem to look modern, maybe even historical, definitely not futuristic. And then there's definitely the question of the gun. And at first this really confused me, because you've got kind of everything going along this kind of old school vibe, then you've got this gun. And it's kind of weird because it's got this hole in the middle, and It almost doesn't look like there's a barrel. Trying to figure out what this was, and at first I thought it was maybe the commando from Black Ops 1. The sights are kind of tilted the same way, but it looks too modern for that. What I think this is, I've kind of like thought about it a little while. I think this is the M8A1. Pretty much guaranteed that would be in another Treyarch installment. It's been in the last 2 games. I could see it being that. It could be something completely different too. It might not even be a gun that's in the game. It might just be a placeholder for now, or it might just be what they thought looked cool on the patch. But I think that is kind of something interesting to note. It maybe does have more of a modern aesthetic to it than the rest of the patches. And then the final thing, which I'm going to get to this in a sec actually when I talk about some other aspects of the image, is that the patches are all the same color. I'll talk about that in a sec, but just keep in mind the patches are all the same color. The final thing I'm going to talk about here is the cards in the top right hand corner. They've got kind of rounded edges and they're rectangular, kind of vertical. One of them's got well, they've both got gestures on them. One of them's got a normal face and the other one's got a skull, so kind of like life and death, I guess. That's kind of what they represent. The first thing you think about when you see these is wild cards, which were used in the pick 10 system back in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2, and those would allow you to pick an extra perk. The thing that I find interesting is you've got these 4 perks on the screen, and then you've got what appears to be 2 additional slots. I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, you think you'd pick, like, you had 3 perk classes in the past, so you'd pick one and then you'd use a wild card to get your second perk, but there's 4 here. What this got me thinking was, they've all got the same color and you've got these 2 wild cards here. Could it be possible that perks actually aren't in classes in this game? And it goes back to maybe how Call of Duty Ghosts operated, a little bit different, but where you can, it's just kind of a free-for-all. You can combine whatever perks you'd like. These 2 wildcards are actually allowing you to access those 2 extra slots at the bottom of the screen there. Then if we look at them physically, they look like playing cards. They're kind of like a grungy, seem to be beaten up a little bit, and that, to me, definitely doesn't give off a future aesthetic. They look kind of old school, kind of going back to, again, that Black Ops 1 Vietnam vibe. And pretty much that's what I saw in this image. Feel free to comment below what you guys think. I'd really like to hear your opinions. I've only looked at it for a short time here. If you do enjoy this style of video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.